Look who we're hanging with.
Brian O'Halloran.
Jason David Frank.
Ramos.
Please do not change channel.
Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hanging With Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter. Thanks for logging on and tuning in. If you haven't done it yet, please go down and hit subscribe. Maybe click the little blue button. You get notified when we have new artists, authors, filmmakers, musicians, creators of all kinds. We're on the floor at MegaCon 2018, and we're hanging right now with artist Javier Lugo.
Hey, everybody.
Javier,
Hi.
thanks for hanging with us, man.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Wow, how's it going out there?
Well, it is going very, very well. There's a lot of people, a lot of excitement, and people are willing to buy comics and prints and stuff, so it's great.
It's always good when you're able to make a living doing what you love to do.
Well, when I get there, I'll let you know. Yeah, of course.
Let us know. Let us know where you live, because we might be, on the street next to you there. So, Javier, you've done a lot of amazing work.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
How long have you been an artist? How long have you been when working as an artist?
Okay.
When I ask how long somebody's been an artist, usually it starts at about 3 years old. Like they get a crayon and they start drawing. That's what they do.
Yeah, that's a long version.
Yeah, that's a long time. How long have you been a professional artist?
Let's put it this way. In 2006, I made a small business incorporation as Javier Lugo Graphics. And that's when I actually took it seriously enough to pay taxes on it and keep track of everything. So since then, it's
so
as
far as the
years.
IRS knows,
I pay my
he's
taxes.
good.
Yeah.
He's squared away.
Of course. Of
course. You got some work here with you.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Well, since this is a great opportunity to share some work,
man.
let me give a small introduction to this book. This book is called Reconstruction. I donated 6 pages to this book. It's an anthology of sorts. Stories about survival from the hurricane and the recovery, and how people are still struggling to bring things back the way they should be. My art is on page 99, and it was a pleasure to be involved in this.
That is fantastic.
I have a small story about this.
Please.
Somebody reached out to me on Twitter and said, "Hey, would you like to donate some art for a book that's going to donate all the proceeds to help people in the island?" I said, "Sure, why not?" No mention was made of it actually involving superheroes from DC Comics. So I thought I was just doing, the kind humanitarian thing and, good karma and everything else. And I poured my heart into some of these pages, and, then it was announced that, wow, actually the designer Edgar Miranda Rodriguez involved Dan Didio in this project and got permission to use DC superheroes in a non-DC published book. I haven't heard of that.
That's incredible.
And then suddenly I'm thinking, wait a minute, my artwork is somehow going to be in the same book as Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman? I mean, these are worldwide recognized characters.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, hey, this is every collector out there that likes these characters is going to want a copy eventually.
Yeah.
And that means they'll get to know me too through my art.
Which is fantastic, right?
It's the most wonderful thing that's happened to me this year. Hi, Patty. I just want to make sure you know it wasn't my lifetime. It's this year.
What's fantastic about that is that it shows this community, the arts community, what good things happen when this community comes together to give, to do something well. When you get artists together and you're able to get a company like DC Comics to say, you know what, this is a worthy cause, this is something worthwhile, and yes, you can use those characters, and yes, you can have this fun, and then you get the rest of the arts community to come together and say, yeah, we'll do a page.
Yes.
When we come together, there's nothing this community can't do, and we all rise together when that happens.
And it's an amazing stroke of luck to be able to say I'm a part of this movement, a part of this wave, and of course, we all want to thank DC Comics and Dan Didio and I believe Kailani Lugo, no relation, and for
if
making
you are
this happen.
related, he's waiting for his check.
No, I'm not. I just like to meet you. That's all.
Just shake a hand. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
I'm not that kind of family member. You know what I mean?
Not that guy. He's not that guy. That's the other one.
And for the projects like these, you do have to set aside your ego. You have to do it for the greater cause, and it's not very often that somebody personally asks you, I want you to sacrifice of yourself for something greater than you.
Yeah.
So that I was honored to be asked, considering that, you know, I just do independent comics, to do something like this, and tremendously honored to have this book in existence.
That's an amazing project, and thank you for giving of yourself to do that. That's amazing.
Sure, and I'd like to say right now, if there's another one of these, I want in.
Call. He's waiting. Not right now. We're on the air. Don't call now. That's rude. Javier, what are you working on right now for you? What are you working on right now? Big projects? Anything coming up?
Yes, I have several projects in the works. Some of them are completed, just waiting for the final faces. Let me run down a list of them. Okay, number one, Bobby Fulton and the Fantastics. I drew the book. It's on Kickstarter right now. It's got about 8 days left.
Fantastic. We're going to put those links down below, guys, so you can check those out.
Please, appreciate the support. Let's see. I am contributing art to FemForce, a publication from AC Comics based out of Florida. It's a all-female superhero group. So I get to draw ladies all the time fighting and punching and stuff. And
it's a rough life, but, you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah. See, those are the kind of projects I can draw in the daytime. I'm not ashamed of it. I like drawing this stuff.
That's right.
So let me see. That's that one. Of course, Reconstruction is already completed. I also have a book called 30AZ. Just finished it. Just got it published. Just got the books this week. So thank you, Brandon Keat, for getting the books over to me. It's a zombie story, but it takes place 30 years after the apocalypse, as we've adapted. Yes. In a way, the setup is that people have gone to the ancient traditions of Native American Indians, as a way of creating a community out of all the survivors.
You know, that's an interesting take, because so much of what we see from the zombie universe, any kind of post-apocalyptic universe, is dire and it's survival mode. We don't often take the time to think about 30, 40, 50 years later, how we would evolve as a culture.
Right.
And we come out of survival mode into a new way of life mode, a new normal.
You sound exactly like the author, because that's exactly his concern. Every time he sees a movie, it's like, okay, so it's when it happened, or right before, or right after. This is how do we not rebuild, but how do we survive long term?
The human animal is just that, it's a survivor. We've been here on this rock for 1 million years, in multiple iterations. Every time calamity strikes, every time we reboot,
we take a step back due to
we come back with something new. Sometimes something better, sometimes not, but always as a new version of ourselves. That's an amazing way to look at a post-apocalyptic world. It's not so much it's post-apocalyptic, because the notion of apocalypse is the end of this, but the end of this is always the beginning of something new.
Yeah, we hope. Most of our end times beliefs are we'll make it through. Not that it's gonna completely stop and we're done, unless you believe in the asteroid's gonna wipe us out. But asteroids tried a couple of times. Earth survived.
We're still here.
Exactly.
The planet's still here. We're still here.
Yeah. I mean, Nibiru, it doesn't exist anymore, but we're still here.
We're still here. Yeah. So we're hanging it. So as an artist, you're also a fan.
Absolutely.
Favorite hero or villain, or both?
Okay. I have two favorites.
Okay.
Conan the Barbarian.
Awesome.
It's my go-to answer, but he's not a superhero. And that's why I like him.
I think he's in the fantasy realm. Conan could also be almost be considered sort of the ultimate anti-hero, in that he's a reluctant hero, the same as all of our modern anti-heroes, which makes him really cool. And of course, the fantasy universe of Conan is just amazing. It is.
It is a Lovecraftian type of encounters that he has with creatures and beings that have been around for a whole bunch of time, that they're on their way out, and he's the one that with sinew and steel is able to they quite literally defend planet Earth.
Yeah.
Almost single-handedly.
It is a great thing. Again, like your comic series talks about, this is for Conan's world, this is a moment in transition. And it takes that heroic journey to transition from an age that was to an age that will be.
And what I like about it is that he's not really setting out to be a hero.
No.
He's going out there and just obeying his passions, and that's what Robert E. Howard really wanted to convey through Conan the Barbarian, is that when you strip away all the laws and the rules and the fanciness and the etiquette of humanity, you're left with the pure version of what we should be. And the Barbarian is the best way to represent that. I think there's a quote that says, where he says, you know what, civilized men can get away with a lot of behaviors because they're never worried about insulting anybody. Because if you were insulting a barbarian, I'd just chop your head off.
There you go.
You learn how to respect people.
There is in the basest part of us an animal.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And there's a natural order.
There's a base need,
We civilize ourselves to a point where we can disregard the rules because we've created new rules, you know, and Conan forces us to look and go, well, sometimes the new rules aren't so protective as they are antithetical to our base order.
Yeah, there is a fantasy fulfillment in obeying your base nature.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, as civilized men, we always regret it later, but with a smile and a wink.
Oh yeah.
You know,
we're not really primitives, unless we are, and then hey, you know
it takes. Electricity goes out, we go.
Guys, we've been hanging with Javier Lugo.
What?
We've got to wrap it up. That card that she holds up, she does that.
Wow.
She's in the middle of a conversation. She does it.
It's
We're going to
awesome.
say thank you to our partners and our friends at Asylum Convention Entertainment Services, Space Coast Comics, Krypton Radio, Off the Chain Radio with Yvonne Mason, Famous Faces and Funnies, and Something Unique Magazine. These are the people who share these videos and these creators all over the World Wide Web.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for doing that. We're here at MegaCon 2018. We've been hanging with artist Javier Lugo. Remember, everybody, subscribe, log on, tune in, see who we're hanging with next. Javier, thank you so much.
A pleasure. Wow, we could have done this for a long time.
Thank you.